Hello, all. Welcome back. As promised, it is Thursday. Today, you will be receiving a message from me. So, here is my message in relation to the last video or the last live last Thursday. Tonight, we will be discussing in further detail our feelings about the Allen case and how that correlates with other things that happen in real life. On this channel, we discuss things that are hot topics, but not the topic itself necessarily. We kind of try to translate it into the real world, how we can help the person having passion, empathy, accountability, which is what you all have asked from me, and I will give it. Here's my accountability. I apologize because after reviewing the video, I will say, I said a few times that I was nervous, and I am. So, for those of you that are true followers and subscribers, you know what this topic means to me. And for those of you that do, that inboxed me and did different things, I really, really appreciate your support. But you know what? I'm not upset. It's okay. Those that are victims will have their own opinion. What do I say all the time? Our opinions, how we respond to things, is a direct relation to what we have been through and sometimes what we have experienced through others. It's okay. I was not offended by anything that anybody said, so I want to get that out of the way for those that would show up and immediately start defending me to people. I don't want you to do that. I don't. It's okay. To those that are victims that were in the comments and shared their stories and the impact that it had on them, hearing where our perspective was based on how we utilize the information about Allie's case to correlate into things that could happen into the real world. I deeply apologize. Let me tell you why I apologize though. I apologize because at the height of everything, if you follow me, those of you that know me in real life, you know what my highest hurt place is. You know what my highest passion is. And it is this. These topics are extremely hard to discuss. It is never going to be a one size fits all, especially when you are leveraging a situation to shine light on something else. It's just not. And so when that happens, you know, or you should know going in, that there are going to be some people that are not going to be in favor of what you say. But to those people that are not in favor because it was a direct hurt, or it triggered something, or they didn't like your choice of words, whatever it is, how can you not apologize? Apology is one of the easiest things to do. It just means I'm sorry that this hurts you. And to those people, I truly am. So because I am, and I want to be able to speak without any interruptions that throw me off, I'm still new in this space. I still get very nervous when I'm live. So to ensure that I got the message out and really hit on the points that I wanted to hit on from my heart, no paper. Everybody that knows me as well, you know that nothing is scripted. I invite you into my home, the home of my co-hosts and guests, and we discuss a topic the same way that we would if we were inside the home, right? So it's some of the things, they're controversial. They are. And so again, to those people, I apologize. Not only do I apologize, now's the time for you to get to know me a little bit better. In my real life, I am an advocate, I am a supporter, I am feet on the ground. I am a part of the victim community. Later, I will discuss something that literally is happening in my life right now, and it's hard. It's hard. It's a couple of people I want to say something to in particular off the top of my head. Again, no paper because these things were on my heart. Um, I will make no cuts. I will go straight through. The only cut you may see is if I start to cry, that I will cut. There was one person that said that they watched and their sister, who was a victim, was in the background and she left the room crying. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I really, really am. I couldn't write that. I can't be this person that takes accountability and has integrity and then write something back. So it was my full intent to always do a video, actually, and follow up. But again, please give me some grace. In this YouTube space, I have a regular job, I have a family, I have all of these things. I'm not a YouTuber yet, right? Um, Here's where the valuable lesson I learned in that for that person. Every day I wanted to do just a video to that person. Not that anybody else wasn't important, I promise. It's just that that one stuck out. Um, it just stuck out a lot. I wanted to do a video every day, and every day I couldn't like make it through to do the video. So for that person, I am extremely, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to every victim. Give me a minute. Okay. I've shared what my experience is in this space. I will never share anybody else's story. I don't exploit. And let's take that key number or point of direction number one was that everything that we said was not for Allie. Nothing was for Allie. It came, some of the things could have come off that way, right? Depending on when you joined, depending on if you were pre-upset, all of those things, but they weren't for Allie. Allie is the victim. We said it so many times because it was like, oh my God, I'm doing it now. Okay, so the other thing, when I get upset, and it's passion, I laugh because I'm like, this shit, it's crazy. It's not fair. It's crazy. It makes me angry. All of those things. At the height of everything, I'm a woman. I understand. We can't go to the grocery store and enter our homes without being worried. We live in a constant fear every day that something could happen to us and we could be violated because we are not as strong as a man. How could a woman not connect with that? On the reverse, now learn something else new about me. Or if you didn't know, right? I worked in HR for 13 years. You wouldn't believe it because who would think you would do something like this, right? But here's where the reality, I'm sorry, garbage thing. Here's where the reality ties into the things that we need to talk about. Two things. I feel like the interviewer exploited Allie. I did not like it, and I still stand on that. Those things that I pulled out were to pull out to say, if I was an investigator and I was looking at this to help this person, which by now everybody should know, she could be subpoenaed in to talk, right? When I prepared somebody to go in and tell what we needed to discuss because they brought it to me as the HR person, if there were any gaps, I asked those questions because I need to prepare this person because everybody might not be as kind as me. And I pointed that out in the video and said, you should ask questions to anybody for clarity, number one, and then to make sure that they have it together, right? The interviewer called out, what would you say to people that are going to say X, Y, and Z? I don't like that. I don't like that interview. The way that that interview went, any real true interviewer, I am not, would gather the details first. Why would she hand them over to him and she doesn't trust him? No, you don't hand them over to him. But something like, I think one of the things I mentioned was the schools. If there is a way that she went to 19 schools and nobody paid attention to this, don't you think we need to hold that school district accountable? Don't you think? Because those are the things that she's saying. It's everyday people, CPS, the school, law enforcement, these places. It's not the celebrities. Well, great, you're looking at this, what she said. Now, great, you're looking at them, but what about the children? Okay, then why isn't that our focus? If that man truly intended to help her, as anybody else who was able to connect with her, why are you not trying to get those types of things where you could take it in your own hands and get the ball rolling? There's so many things that you can do as a community as well. And on a platform like that, I was really upset that he didn't spend more time in that space. Those are the names we need. Those are the names we need. Those are the people connected to our children. Those are the people connected to the children in the system. And if you advocate for those systems, have a nonprofit, have a group home, anything like that, those are things we need to know. Why not get those things from her? And that is what I meant by these are gaps. Why are we not asking these things? As well, second piece, she called out on her own having, again, I don't have notes, dissociative um, disorder. I also said to some degree, all of us can relate with that because when you have trauma, you either forget a block of something or you replace it with something that wasn't there. I stand on that. I because she said it, and I stand on it because listen. In today's age, when did people started listening the most? When she said that man's name. I do not promote. I don't like him. I don't want to say his name today. When she said that man's name, now everybody's listening, right? What are we going to do with it though? She has consistently said, even in her talking now, she focuses more on what about the kids? What about the kids? If I wanted my message to be heard, no different than when we as YouTubers pick up a story, it's because it's attached to something that's happening. Whether you talk about that or attach to it to bring out a message, right? This would be the perfect time. The same way that I said it would be the perfect time when she did it the first time 4 years ago, and it was during election time. Perfect time. I would do it. I would do it. If I wanted to see change, I would do it. And she's not lying. What she's not lying about is that she has been a victim. She is not lying at all. And life owes her more. How many therapists have reached out to her and said, let me help you? We all see the comments. We see the comments. One video recently, she was talking about, I don't want to get into these names. And every one of the comments, well, we want to know the names. We want to know the names. Why? You want to know that celebrity name. But who has asked for a teacher's name, a law enforcement's name, a CPS worker's name? Who's asked for those names? When she damn right says we're not focusing on the right thing. That's where my passion comes in. Here's the lesson that I learned. Let me tell you the lesson that I learned. And this is what I apologize at the height of it for. With certain topics, especially ones that are controversial and those that I know it's hard for me to get through, right? Because I'm the one on the platform. I have to present it. I think that I should have given myself more time. I think that I should have slowed down and broken it up. That way I could get all the thoughts out of what I was thinking. I think that going forward, when I do controversial topics, I'm going to write notes because, again, having that conversation at home, which is what my platform is very different when it's something controversial because that cliffhanger lasts too long, right? It lasts too long. But taking a little bit more time to integrate my old HR experience and things like that and considering it more professional than just an everyday conversation or a conversation that needs to be had. It really needs to be handled with white gloves because if I could do it different, I probably would do more videos on it, but just by myself. And then, discuss maybe some highlights with the panel. That way I could release a video back to back to back and get it all out, no cliffhangers, really spend the time to think about it, ensure that I use the appropriate word and didn't get nervous and use another word. Because when you're live, you can't undo it and you don't hear it. You have the nerves of the live and you have all these things going on, right? So with something like that, I think that I would do it just like I did my other videos. And if you truly follow my platform, you know that back to my channel where I talk to our youth, domestic violence was included, trafficking was included, SA was included, all of those things were included, and some with guests, because this is truly my passion to get the word out there for us to see everyday people and see you're not alone, it's not your fault, it could be anybody. Make sure you listen to your people, make sure you pay attention to your girls and your boys, and what that looks like when we become adults and we have gone through such experiences without having the resources to navigate it. In today's time, we do have the resources to navigate it, and it is my true hope that everybody that needs help obtains that help. There was a therapist in the comments, and they wrote something that ended up being held for review. And as I reviewed it, I was triggered. I was triggered because of what I said. They admitted that they listened to a part, they heard what they wanted, and they made an assessment, right? I was triggered because in searching for a therapist, one of our biggest concerns in the urban neighborhood, once we get past, we don't go to therapy, please go to therapy, is that it took me so long to find a therapist that would listen to what I was saying. And that hit a whole different, I mean, this could go in so many different ways, but it hit a different, I don't want to, it wasn't, it broke me down. There's no other way to say it. It broke me down because as a woman, you feel like you're not heard. Um, in the video, based on some of the responses, I felt like I wasn't heard. Not I feel like I wasn't heard. It was taken completely different than the way that I said it. But for a professional to tell me that they, one, didn't listen to me all the way, and then they concluded all of these things, that's exactly how I felt when I walked in a lot of therapists' office. You had one visit with me and already you're trying to diagnose me. Sometimes we have to listen outside of ourselves because from that therapist, I also took a lot of good nuggets, right? I did. I took a lot of good nuggets. I did not put it out because I felt like if I put it out and allowed that comment to come out, it would trigger other people. Last but not least, I will say that in our community, in ourselves as adults, it's really important for us to work on our triggers, how we hear people, how we see things, and sometimes showing people grace because the very things that we want, we don't give sometimes. And it's usually attached to a hurt place, right? So you're like, I'm this particular victim. This is general. I'm this particular victim, and these are the things that hurt me. So anybody that goes against that, or I even think that they do, I can't hear them. I'm going to receive it that way. Those things hurt us. So I've shared in my other videos in the last 4 years, I've been going to therapy that I like, and it has allowed me to see how much I had to own how I let the hurt keep going because it's for me. And so I'll end with, because we are going to continue this conversation on live, I ask that you join respectfully. If your opinion is different, you see I left them up. The only reason I paused the comments on the other one is so that I could catch up because I wanted to respond because people were sharing and giving their personal information. It was no way I would have been able to catch up, and I wanted to do that because if you all are my true supporters, I appreciate you. I really do. And I've always been okay with you calling me on my shit. It's okay. And I really thank those that allowed me to explain. And I appreciate you. I do. Um, so the last thing is those things. I lost a lot of good years. I lost a lot of good years that I could have enjoyed. Um, Sorry about that. Technical camera started going down. So I lost a lot of good years that I could have enjoyed. A lot of relationships that I could have enjoyed. A lot of people, a lot of experiences, a lot of things. I lost those things. But somebody did to me to put me in a particular position. Um, and this is me being transparent and being vulnerable and sharing with you. So maybe it will help somebody. I decided to take my life back. I decided that those things that happened were not good. Those things that happened, I could not change. But I couldn't keep praying, for me, I couldn't keep praying to God every day, asking Him to take the pain away and help me to take the pain away. And then waking up every morning and saying, I'm not getting out of bed. I don't want to walk out the door. You know, those type of things. I had to start living. And Now I want to tie it back to Allie. When I look at Allie, my heart is so broken. It is so broken because she has been through so much that how someone could see, like I said in the video, even if there are some truths intertwined with some untruths, because everything is blurring together, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. And at the end of the day, that should be what's more important. Now, that is aside from people that completely lie, get somebody in trouble, and now they are the victim. That's completely different. There's a special level of compassion that I have for any victim, in that, number one, you want to help them make things make sense, because a lot of times we can't move forward when something doesn't make sense to us. And I just really hope that somebody reaches out. I did include in the last video a clip of somebody that reached out, and it didn't go well, so that I shared everything that I viewed before I did the video. None of what that video included was in how I felt, because I felt the exact opposite. But I took the video and I put the video on private. I put the video on private not because it doesn't deserve to be out there, because it does. I commented on the things she said that we need to pay attention to, because there needs to be help. And it needs to be help, and we need to hear what she's not saying and hear what she's actually freaking saying, but we're not paying attention. That is why I took the video down, for no other reason. Is the video going back up? I'm not sure yet. I have talked to the people in my life that are impacted by being a victim. They are all fine. They all feel different than some of you, but everybody's feelings are valid. Unless you are bashing somebody. I was bashing the interviewer, not her. I called out the things that were untrue because they were based on what she said. But it could have been true a different way. She has now gone back and started answering some of those questions, specifically the age gap and the mother thing. But I'm letting you know in advance, if I choose to put that video back up, I would hope that more people would understand what I am truly saying. And I may put it back up by going through and chopping it up and saying, well, this is what I want you to give. I'll think about it. I will think about it, because I took it down because God told me to take it down. God told me to give it a break because it was draining me as well. I want the message to be received. Doing things for views, likes, and clicks, it doesn't pay me. I do it because those are the conversations that need to be had. So I guess I volunteer for, what's that for? You know, I would ask that my true supporters and my followers, I think I kind of know who you guys are, but for everybody, try to be kind in the way that you communicate things. Never be afraid to go back and apologize. And if you truly believe in something, do not let somebody change your mind either. It's okay to receive feedback, and that feedback is opposite than yours, and you still believe what you believe. That is okay as well. We are not bullies. We are not here to, caveat, if it's anything to do with something that's black and white and related to it, listen, I kind of speed past those, but those, go in. Go in. Outside of that, a difference in opinion, you may not like the way the person said it. I don't like horror movies, so I don't watch them. If I get a trigger warning, if I get this is a controversial topic, I support some of my friends on mute. They'll tell me in advance when they're going to discuss certain things, and I support them on mute. It's a choice. Please don't follow anybody, any platform. Look at anything. What we put into you is really important. Don't watch it if it's not for you. Don't. It's not good. It's just not. And we all have that kind of curiosity thing, but don't, okay? We will talk more tonight, but I really wanted to just sit down with you on my own, no notes, just from my heart, completely quiet, um, having ate, having prayed, having thought about it, and just have a conversation. I did, because you are worth it. You are important. What you have been through does not determine your value. And if we can't help and support and slow down for one another when called to action, what are we doing it for? Thank you for allowing me to respond. Um, and I will see you for tonight's show if you so decide. If you do not, I understand that as well. Everything is not for everybody. Enjoy what makes you happy. Have a good night.